Picture this, it's 2007. The NBA is buzzing. Kobe is dominating, LeBron is ascending, and a young, electrifying shooting guard in Portland is making everyone believe the Trailblazers have found their savior. His name, Brandon Roy. Smooth handle, deadly mid-range, clutch as they come, and then, bam, his knees betrayed him. Just when he was set to take over the league, injuries came knocking like an unpaid bill collector. And today we're diving deep into how those injuries not only derailed his career, but broke the hearts of Blazers fans everywhere. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more deep dives into the greatest what-ifs in basketball history, and you don't want to miss them. The rise of a future legend. Let's rewind the clock a bit. Brandon Roy wasn't just good, he was different. The guy played like he had been in the NBA for 10 years on day one. Drafted 6th overall in 2006 by the Minnesota Timberwolves, then immediately traded to Portland. Because, you know, Timberwolves and bad decisions go together like peanut butter and mayonnaise. He was an instant game changer. Not a raw talent that needed development, but a polished scorer with an old school game. Roy had an uncanny ability to control the tempo, make the right play, and deliver in clutch. Unlike most rookies, he didn't just fit into the NBA, he thrived in it. And what did he do in his first season? Oh, nothing major, just win Rookie of the Year. Roy had it all. Silky handles, a lethal mid-range game, ice in his veins in the clutch. By year 2, he's an all-star. By year 3, he's dropping 52-point games like it's casual Friday. Portland fans, they're thinking, finally, our savior. He led the team with grace and confidence, inspiring hope that the Blazers were on the verge of something special. But fate had other plans. Roy wasn't just about stats. He had the intangibles. He was a leader, a player who could take over when it mattered. That 2008-9 Blazers team, they won 54 games, their best record in years, and Roy was the heart and soul of it. Portland fans dared to dream, but as history has shown us, sometimes dreams turn into nightmares. And in Roy's case, it started with his knees. This was the moment when Portland fans started holding their breath before every jump, every drive to the basket, because deep down they knew something was wrong. The first signs of trouble. Now, every great hero's story has its tragedy, and for Roy, it started with whispers of knee trouble. You know how you ignore that weird noise your car makes thinking it'll go away? Yeah, turns out that's a terrible idea for cars and knees. By 2009, Roy had undergone his first knee surgery, and Blazers fans were nervous. But hey, he was still balling out, so no need to panic, right? Wrong. Roy's game, built on explosiveness and footwork, required healthy knees to function, and slowly but surely, they began to give out on him. The same confidence that made him great also made him push through pain, but that resilience came at a cost. April 2010, the playoffs roll around, and Roy tears the meniscus in his right knee. Docs say, "Bro, you're out for at least a month." Roy, "Nah, I'm built different." He comes back in 8 days. 8! And in his first game back, he leads the Blazers to a win. The crowd is chanting his name. It was legendary. But looking back, that was probably the beginning of the end. Overcompensating for his injury put additional strain on his already damaged knees, and the rapid decline had begun. Portland fans held their breath, hoping for a miracle. But miracles in sports are rare, and the reality of what was happening to Roy's body couldn't be ignored forever. The 2011 season, the beginning of the end. Now, if you're a Blazers fan, this part of the story might sting a little. The 2010 to 2011 season rolls in, and Roy's knees are cooked. Not a little sore cooked, more like your Thanksgiving turkey that your uncle left in the oven for 5 hours cooked. Bone on bone, no cartilage, nada. And when your game is built on shiftiness and explosiveness, that's like trying to drive a Ferrari with no tires. Despite this, Roy kept pushing himself to the limits, unwilling to let go of the game he loved. He underwent treatment after treatment, but the writing was on the wall. The spark that made him great was flickering, and everyone could see it. But hold on, because Brandon Roy had one last masterpiece up his sleeve. Game 4 against the Mavericks in the 2011 playoffs. Blazers down by 23. Roy turns back the clock, drops 18 points in the fourth quarter, brings Portland all the way back, and wins the game. Blazers fans are crying, Twitter is losing its mind. Roy is him, but that was his swan song. Shortly after, doctors told him that continuing to play could result in permanent damage. The man who had carried Portland's hopes on his shoulders now faced an unthinkable reality. He had to walk away from the game. The battle wasn't just physical, it was emotional, and Roy knew his time was running out. The sad goodbye and short-lived comeback. December 2011. Doctors tell Roy his knees are beyond repair. No more surgeries, no more treatments. It's over. At just 27 years old, he retires. 27. That's barely past the tutorial stage in an NBA career. Fans were devastated as they had watched one of the game's brightest young stars fade too soon. Roy, the ultimate competitor, wasn't ready to accept it. He explored experimental treatments, hoping for a miracle. Portland, in the meantime, moved forward, but the void he left was impossible to fill. But wait, the story doesn't quite end there. In 2012, Roy, being the competitor he is, attempts a comeback with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, them again. He plays 5 games, but his knees, they officially file for retirement. And just like that, one of the smoothest, coldest, most clutch guards of his era was gone. His return wasn't about glory, it was about love for the game. But sometimes love isn't enough. His body simply wouldn't allow him to continue. And with that, an unforgettable chapter in NBA history came to a close. A few months later, Roy announced his retirement and attributed his decision to cartilage degeneration in both knees. It caused bone-to-bone collision in his knees, which made him more prone to injuries. "This is a very difficult and painful day," Roy said in a statement. "I love the game. I love the Portland Trail Blazers. And I love our fans, but after consulting with my doctors, I will seek a determination that I've suffered a career-ending injury, pursuant to the rules of the collective bargaining agreement. My family and health are most important to me, and in the end, this decision was about them and my quality of life." So what do we take away from the Brandon Roy story? That sometimes life just isn't fair? That knees are the cruelest body part? Or maybe it's a reminder of how fragile greatness can be. If Roy had even decent knees, are we talking about him as one of the all-time greats? We'll never know. But what we do know is that for a brief shining moment, Brandon Roy was one of the best in the game. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think? Where would Roy rank among the NBA greats if injuries never happened? Drop your thoughts below, and I'll catch you in the next one.